Bring y'all asses over here. Come on. Come on. Bring y'all asses over here. I heard what y'all said. Yeah, I heard what y'all said. Trust me, I don't forget. You thought I was going to come out here and be humble? Oh, no. That's not how this is going to go down. I heard what y'all said. I heard what everybody said. From people in the comments, people in the DMs, people in person. I heard what y'all said. Oh, Alabama doesn't deserve to go to the college football playoff. Oh, they only had -3 rushing yards against Georgia. Oh, they got blown out in the SEC championship. Belt. Huh? What, you just thought I forgot? Oh, no. No. See, I've been listening to a lot of people, okay? I've been listening to a lot of people out there that have massive platforms, for one. And two, people that are just been coming at me, little old me. What did I do to you? Huh? I just told you that we deserve to be in the college football playoff, but nobody wanted to listen to me. Everybody wanted to say, well, Notre Dame deserved to be in the playoff because we still don't know why, but BYU deserved to go to the playoff because they lost to Texas Tech twice, and that was their best loss. All that is fine and dandy, and y'all said Oklahoma is the better team. Well, I'm going to tell you, Oklahoma belt. Michigan, you thought you were going to get our head coach? Try again. Belt. Who else? Notre Dame fans, for all that whining and bitching y'all do, join a conference. Belt. Josh Pate, you were the one who picked us to win the national championship in the preseason, and you still picked Oklahoma. Bell. Joel Klatt, you're the one who said the NCAA tournament was stupid, and you picked Oklahoma. Loser. Bell. Stupid. Bell. 50 Cent. It was a great performance, by the way. I love that performance. But you were wearing the wrong gear. Wearing the wrong gear. We don't play that. We don't play that. We don't play that. We don't play around. Bell. Husker fans, just because. Bell. Every member on Barstool Sports, except for Brandon Walker. Bell. College Game Day, except for Nick Saban. Bell. 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 Huh? No more Alabama slander on this show. I don't want to hear shit from nobody in the comments. I don't want to hear shit from nobody in person. I don't want to hear shit from nobody in the DMs because all y'all ate y'all words. All y'all ate y'all words. Who don't belong there now? Bell. And it's going to be right here. The whole season. Or until I need it. That bell's going to be right there. And until somebody says something good about Alabama for once, then I'll put the belt down. But I had to start the show off like that. Sorry. Obviously, I'm very excited. So if you are joining us, thank you for joining Pregame. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I am very, 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 very ecstatic today because Alabama just advanced to the next round. Beat Oklahoma. I'll give my thoughts about it right now. But yeah, just thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Here we go. Alabama 34-24 over Oklahoma. Listen, guys. Down 17-0. I would be lying if I said there was no doubt in my mind that we were going to pull it off. Simply because of our past history this season. What we just went through with Georgia in the SEC championship. What we went through against Oklahoma previous for, in the regular season. And what we went through against Florida State. This team, when we go down, it's just hard to believe that we could ever come back up. and down 17 zip. We finally get a score from Lodzier Brooks. We call him Lottie, by the way. Lottie Brooks, true freshman, got a couple of tuds and some amazing catches this game. And the block punt, which, guys, defense was going to go to Oklahoma. If we were just going to match it up, defense was going to go to Oklahoma, okay? Offense was probably going to go to Alabama because, I mean, both offenses were struggling in the later half of the season, but Alabama just, I feel like they had the better offensive showing, I might add, going into this game. Special teams, by far, was Oklahoma going into this game. They have one of the best punters in the SEC and the best kicker in college football. And we blocked the punt. He dropped the punt, which was weird. It looked like he was betting. I ain't gonna lie. It looked so fishy. It looked like he could have got it off. But yeah, if you would have looked at this game and you would have looked at all the stats, Oklahoma was, obviously more in, passing and rushing, but it's just like Oklahoma dominated the first quarter. And then all of a sudden it just went bizarre. It went bizarre. The pick six, by the way, was the ultimate momentum switcher in the whole game. I mean, I tell you, I was freaking out so bad I scared my little baby, okay? And I think I am 3-0 this season when I'm holding my son and he's sleeping. So, yeah, if we have all late games, I'll make sure that Kyson will be in my hands while we're watching the game. He's my good luck charm now, so I am superstitious. But that pick six was so huge. It was crazy how that happened. A lot of people are saying Mateer just his mechanics were off, and they were, but you got to give credit to Kane Womack, the defensive coordinator for Alabama. Like, he was in his bag, and he had to come in with two different game plans, right? He had to come in with a game plan to where if Alabama offense is struggling like it usually has, we have a game plan for that. But if Alabama's defense or offense is, good to semi-good, then we could be aggressive a little bit. And you've seen the switch from the first half to the second half in the defense to where it was a lot of, zone coverage, don't get beat deep, and, just send 3, 4 maybe. And then the second half was a completely different showing on the defense. A lot of stunts, a lot of misdirection, and a lot more aggressive. And we got to Mateer, I think, 5 times, 3 or 5 times. Amazing showing by Womack. I think that he was in his bag, and he deserves a lot of the credit for this win because that defense played tremendously. Okay. And the second half, it was lights out. It was lights out. Tied the game at 17 going into, half. We get the ball. And, we didn't score. I think we punted, but it was all Alabama the whole second half. And Ty Simpson, once Ty catches on to what the defense is doing, there's nothing he can't do. I'm telling you right now, there's nothing he can't do. And I think he showed the world that if he's hot, okay, and he's comfortable and he's got a line to protect him, it's going to be scary out there. And mind you, Ty's numbers don't look, the sexiest. I think he had 232 yards, 2 touchdowns, 18 for 29, no turnovers. But the thing is about that game, it's a loud 232 yards, a loud one. He was placing them deep balls into places where only the receivers can get. Even, I'll tell you this, it could have been worse because there were a lot of drops on Alabama's side and a lot of crucial drops on Oklahoma's side. Crucial drops. Obviously, Ryan Williams. Listen, guys, I think we're just going to call it and just say we'll just be looking forward to Ryan being average to below average. I think that's what you got to do with him. If he gets comfortable with catching the ball with his hands instead of his body, I think he tried to catch it with his shoulder pads and he missed it. He could have just caught it with his hands. But he's going through something. He's going through a slump that I've never seen. He's only 19, so I'm not going to harp on it too much. I think he's 18 or 19. He's young. He's young, okay? And we're winning without him. So a lot of guys stepped up today. Like to see Cuevas back. We needed him. And you've seen it. You know, he had a couple of big-time first downs. Just his presence, you know, him as a blocker as well. Dylan Riley with a big, like, what, a 40-plus yard run. Something that Alabama, hey, guess what, guys? We still can't run the ball, but we're still winning football games. So I'm tired of hearing, well, in order for Alabama to win, they have to find a running game. When have we? When have we found a running game? We didn't have a running game against Georgia. We didn't have a running game against Missouri. We didn't have a running game against Tennessee. We didn't have a running game against Vanderbilt. And now we don't have a running game in the college football playoff away in Norman, I might add, and we won by 10. The narrative's got, guys, we can't run the ball, okay? I told you that in the beginning of the season. Nothing's changed. And we're not going to run the ball good. Now, we'll still use the running game to, you know, as much as we can. But if you're expecting us to go 150 plus in rushing, you're SOL. It's not going to happen. So I hate that narrative. I hate, you know, in order for us to be successful, we have to run the ball. That's not true. We've won all of our games without running the ball. We're not a running team. We're going to air it out. We're going to establish the run game. So, you know, we will run the ball, you know, but our weapons are in the air. That's it. That's all we got. And that's how we won the game, with Ty being comfortable, slicing and dicing, and really good offensive line play. Those guys gave Ty Simpson a bunch of time, right? And I think on the other side, I mean, Mateer had statistically, he had a okay game. I think, you know, 26 for 41 for 307, 2 touchdowns, but a big interception that really changed the momentum of the game and took the energy out of Norman. That place was so loud. Now, obviously, I wasn't there. I was watching on TV, but, I mean, you could hear it through the speakers. That place was bumping. And some of those decisions weren't Mateer's fault. Like, he had, like, for instance, there was a play where he could have ran for a first down and more. Like, there was a lot of green grass, but he decided to throw it. And it was a perfect ball. A little bit off balance, but it was a perfect ball. The guy just missed it. He dropped the ball. A lot of receivers that game dropped the ball on both sides. But I think, I don't know. I think post-injury, when Mateer, you know, had something with his hand, he has been different. And I'm not for sure what Oklahoma does next. I like Oklahoma. I like Brent Venables. I like, you know, that challenge for them coming up to the SEC. Now, obviously, you know, before this, they beat us twice. And, you know, we kind of got the monkey out the back, but there's no ill will towards Oklahoma at all. You know, I respect their defense even after this. You know, their defense was the best in the country. Hands down, no question about it. But it just shows you how good Alabama can be if we are healthy, okay? Now, I'm not using that as an excuse, okay? The Georgia thing, we were beat to shit. But Georgia was also beat to shit. Now, the world sees we are not who we were 4 to 5 weeks ago. We're just not. The team that you've seen in the middle of the stretch, where it was Georgia, Missouri, Tennessee, Vandy, that stretch is a dangerous fucking team. And you need to respect us. Put some respect on our name. Now, I get it, okay? the beginning of the pod, I understand. I'm a Bama fan. I'm going to rile y'all up. Okay. But I understand why you would think Oklahoma was the better team here. Everybody except for Nick Saban and Brandon Walker picked Oklahoma. Everybody and their mom picked Oklahoma. And I get it. I understand. But what you guys have to also understand is we're not just going to go away. If we are healthy, we are dangerous. And there is no team in college football when we're going that could stop us. We've proven it already. You guys were hyping up Georgia saying they might win it all. We beat them. You realize that? We beat them at Athens. Our whole team just didn't enter the transfer portal before this playoff started. We're not going anywhere. We just needed some time to heal because we went through a crazy stretch. A gauntlet. A strength of schedule, Notre Dame. But listen, I'll get to the Indiana one after this, but I have to talk about Tate Sandell, the kicker from Oklahoma, man. I felt so bad for that kicker. The best kicker in the country misses not one, but two in a row. Now, the last one, they still would have needed to score a touchdown. They would have needed to, have an onside kick. They're out of timeouts. But it was just the fact of just like a gut punch, like, this is the best kicker in the country. He does not miss at all. Granted, very windy, okay? But I think the whole world was in shock. I called my dad and I'm like, yo, he missed. Like, not even celebrating the win, I was still in shock that Tate Sandell missed 2 field goals in a row. And I think special teams is very important in football, period, no matter what level. Kickers get, the brunt of it when they miss because you only have one job. And I hope Oklahoma fans do not bash that kid. Like, he is probably the greatest kicker that program has ever seen. Massive leg, very accurate, obviously. But, I hope they don't, send him death threats and shit. Like, that's stupid, but I feel bad for him. I feel bad for Tate. I like John Mateer as a person. I liked him as a quarterback, pre-injury. I think, I thought he was going to be in the Heisman race for sure. But, listen, man, we're off to, Pasadena in the Rose Bowl against Signetti. And let me tell you something. That's a good team. Okay? That's a good team. I don't know. We got a long time. We got till January 1st to, dive into that matchup. I think it opened at 6.5. Indiana's favored. Looked at to go down to probably 4.5 Indiana, maybe. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be tough. But the good thing here, if you're an Alabama fan, is we have rest. Again, we are probably one of the only teams that can benefit from rest, us in Georgia, because we were going through so much injuries. And now I know there's that stat that, last year, all the teams that had bye weeks lost. And I think there is something to that. I'm not basing my prediction just because whoever we're playing has a bye week. I just think that we just need the rest to get fully healthy. Get Parker Brales for fully healthy. He was about 75% today, but he played a good game. Get Cuevas healthier. Get Ryan right. Get Ty right, because Ty's been hurt as well, guys. His back's been messed up since Auburn, I believe. So he's been playing hurt, and I think we'll get LT Overton back, and that's going to be very exciting. He's probably one of our best defensive players. And just add him to the list and just get everybody right for the second round of the playoffs. And you know who I'm going with. I'm going with Bama, but in order for us to win this game, we have to just continue to put ourselves in good field position. I think that's the main reason we won this game. You look at the last Oklahoma Alabama game in the regular season, that game and this game is completely flipped from both teams. In the regular season, Oklahoma won the turnover battle and field position. This game, Alabama won the turnover battle and field position. And the stats, are identical when it comes to who had more stats that game, who had more stats this game. It was a complete flip-flop of the regular season until now in the postseason. So I think against Indiana, field position is very important. Do not put the defense in bad hands like you have been the past 4 to 5 weeks. You see what happens when you give them good field position. You see what happens when you give them rest. Get third downs, complete third downs, keep on getting first downs, move the chains, and put some points on the board. That's the big thing. Early. Alabama, in recent times has struggled getting points on the board early. And we're just playing catch up for the rest of the game. And I think that puts a stranglehold on the defense. That puts a change of plans for Womack. I think if you give him time and good field position, I think we can win this game. I'm not saying we're going to blow them out. That's the number one team in the nation. They knocked off Ohio State, okay? That is a dog. Indiana is. I am not dissing them one bit. They deserve to get all the praise. They deserve to be favored. I understand why they're favored. We put ourselves in this position. Now we got to go out there and win. It's going to be a dogfight. But I simply believe if the defense is playing the way it is now, Ty and the boys are rolling again. We definitely have momentum, and we get the much needed rest that we need because we do have a talented roster. I think we can win this game. I firmly believe we can win this game. Okay. And, so, oh man, that was a crazy, crazy game, guys. I'm just happy we won. I'm happy we won. That defense is real. Okay. Those guys are elite as fuck. Okay. Probably the best defense I've seen since that Georgia national championship, with Jalen Carter and Lakobe Dean, like those guys. I put that up there with them. Probably below, but they're up there with them. That defense is good. And Oklahoma was a really good team this year, just riddled by injuries and, just simple mistakes. But, also, A&M falls to Miami. Guys, what a crazy, crazy game. Marcel Reed and Carson Beck, both of them played shitty. Okay? Both just not good reads. I understand the win was, crazy there as well. But I was listening to the game because I was obviously working. And man, just mistakes. And Miami's defense is really good. They go up and play Ohio State. I don't think Miami offensively can match up with Ohio State's defense. Now, Ohio State's defense is on another level as well. You got that boy Caleb Downs down there. He used to be with Bama, now he's with Ohio State. So good luck to Carson. The defense won this game, obviously. The crucial turnover by Marcel Reed at the end of the game, post potential targeting. I wasn't able to see it because I was listening, and I was obviously listening to A&M, because it's a home crowd. But I still haven't seen it, but I'm guessing it's not a factor. Just a bad throw. Crucial throw. That sucks, A&M. I had this thought about Texas A&M. When you're battle tested in the regular season, right? I feel like you have a better shot at going all the way in the postseason. Simply because you're not walking through the regular season into the playoff. I feel like, you go through a gauntlet like a Georgia, like a Oklahoma, Ole Miss even. Tough opponents on their schedule. I feel like Texas A&M hasn't had that really. And it was to their detriment that, they lose a 10-3 game, with the ball in your hand. And this was a quarterback in Marcel Reed who went down 31-3 against South Carolina, rallied back, and went scorched earth. I think, 28 unanswered points? I'm not saying Marcel Reed's a bad quarterback, okay? I like him a lot. And the same thing with Carson, too. Even when he was with Georgia, I was, very fond of Carson's ability when he is on. But it seemed like these quarterbacks hit a wall at the wrong time. Mateer, Beck, Reed. We're not going to even talk about Chambliss or, Dante Moore because they play cupcakes, right? But Ty Simpson was the one that was struggling for so long. And then in 3 quarters, the last 3 quarters, it was just like a switch. Just clicked off. And I don't think anybody would have said, hey, guys, out of all these 4 quarterbacks, Ty Simpson will be the one that would have the better performance out of all of them. I don't think anybody would have said that. I would have said it because I got confidence in Ty because I've watched and I've listened to every game this season and I know what he can do when he has time and when he's healthy. Now, he has grown a lot. He had some plays where, I wish he would throw the ball away, but he had some big scrambles as well. Big time plays, 4th and 2. Not only do we get the first down, we get the score, ball placement, everything, just smart decisions. And I think a lot of that has Cuevas back as well, his safety blanket, tight end. And, out of all the quarterbacks, I don't think Ty would have been talked about at all. I think everybody would have had him at the bottom when it comes to, performances. And yeah, 230 plus yards isn't sexy, but it's a loud 230. I'm telling you, it was a loud 230. And Miami against Ohio State, that's going to be an interesting game. But yeah, that is it for college football. What a great day for college football besides the other group of 5 teams, guys. I don't want to be this person, okay? I don't want to be this person. But we have to, if we're going to do the group of 5 things, we cannot have 2 of them. We cannot have 2 of them. I understand legally they have to be in there. A group of 5 team has to be in there. And the way the playoff went, they put 2 in, okay? And they have every right to be in there, right? They made it. It's not their fault. We're not blaming the group of 5s. I'm blaming the system that is in place. There was so many opportunities for you to have the whole playoff to have some fire competitive games. And unfortunately, there was just 2. Right? And it feels like those guys, they could have played the second or third stringers. Chambliss and Lacey didn't even have to play for Ole Miss. Moore didn't even have to play for Oregon. Right? Now, JMU, they looked the best out of the group of 5 showing, but there's levels, guys. There's levels to college football. This is not college basketball where Florida Gulf Coast can upset Duke or Loyola can go upset, Kentucky or Louisville. Basketball has such a wide net of players in the country to where a 2-star can dominate against 5 stars. Right? Football is very different. Football, there are levels to this. If you are not a power 4, you probably don't deserve to go to the power 4. If you are at Tulane right now, if you are at JMU right now, and now granted, probably after this, they will probably hit the portal and go to, better programs. But that's 1 to 2 players going to an already loaded 4 to 5 star littered roster, all-American littered roster, playing against tough opponents in their respective conferences, unless you're Notre Dame. But you get what I'm saying here. Okay? There has to be a rule or something to where we can say, hey, guys, I understand you want to be here. Just one group of 5 teams going to go. I'm sorry. It'll be, if we're going to do the 12 best teams, this is not the 12 best teams. I'm cool with the 11 best teams in one group of 5. I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that. You know? But it's just, it was just a tough listen. I was listening to the game and I was rooting for Tulane. I'm like, make it competitive. Please make it competitive. And it wasn't. I think Ole Miss, the first drive of the game, they got the ball, 3 plays to score. Quick. And it was just ass whooping after ass whooping. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. I don't know what the committee's going to do with that. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that.